Hey, hello, and I hope you are doing good and everything is fine. So today we actually going to talk and build something out of this thing, which is Design version 5, and I think it's going to be very, very good. So, recently I stumbled upon this release and I was actually seeing what has changed. So a lot has changed, but a lot has, like, from the coding point of view, from what you already have, a lot has not changed, right? So things are like quite the same. So we'll actually be going through this in this particular video, and we'll see what all things have been changed, and we'll try to make again the dashboard. Of course, east or west dashboard is the best, our thing, right? So we'll be making a dashboard again, and we'll see what has improved, and we'll both be learning something. By the way, this is in the stable release right now. It's not in beta and version 5. So that's the plan, right? So by mistake, I don't know why I have launched Android Studio, which I did not wanted to do. I wanted to launch item, which is the terminal app, right? So let's first, very quickly create a project, that too in Vite, right? So we'll go to our desktop and then maybe projects folder, right? And then we'll say npm create Vite @latest. We'll be using Vite's latest version, right? And let's call it a cool dashboard. And we'll be using something called React, and we'll use TypeScript for this particular project, right? By the way, server side component, right? The third option, that's also a very cool component. Maybe I'll be creating a video on that as well very soon. So stay updated, right? Okay, let me drink some water first. Okay, I'm sorry, I am feeling hmm, so far so good. Okay, so we have our project created, right? So it's a cool dashboard as far as I can remember. And what I'll do is I'll just maybe I'll run npm I, which will install all the dependencies for this particular project, and then we'll be running it. Okay. Wait. By the way, till the time this building meet my new plant, this plant's name is Ugao, and he's really good. Bring this in focus. Yeah, he's really good. Meet Ugao. I hope so. Hey Ugao, these are the people who are learning Andy. Kinda cool. Okay. So if you have any message for Ugao, just comment down below. I'll tell him. I promise. Okay. So then we'll run npm run dev, right? I don't know why I do run, but still npm run dev, which will basically start our application on port 5173, right? If I could open 5173 and it could show you, this is what you get by default. This nice hover effect, and this is the default website. But the problem is we do not need it. So the next thing what we'll do is we'll import. Again, I have to zoom in. Why do I have to do that? Because let me actually, I know the trick. Okay, let me actually increase the font size of this particular thing. How do you do that? uh Here you go. Let's do it something like that. Okay, so we'll do npm I and d. That will basically, so it's in stable and it's released, so it will be basically installed directly. So done, installed, right? So Andy has been installed, and let's quickly open it up in the VS Code, the editor of choice, the holy grail of programmers. Oh, we had a new release of VS Code. That's cool. What do we have? Haha, that's cool. We'll go through this later on. Maybe we'll see what all new things is there in this latest new version of VS Code. I just want to do something. First thing first. If you already remember, this is the folder structure, right? The default folder structure, and we'll go to the app.tsx and we'll simply remove this whatever they have provided by default, and we'll also remove this app.css. We'll be removing this logo. We'll be removing this class. We'll remove a lot of things. That's kind of cool, right? And we'll have this app. Now this should be blank, I think. Yeah, but this is black. The reason why this is black is if you go to the main style file, which is index file, you have a lot of styles over here. Let me get rid of these as well, right? So let's remove these, and here you can see, oh, there are more, man. Okay, I just like the font family, so we'll keep that, but other than that, everything is gone, right? The next important thing while setting up Andy is actually in your main in create React app, it will be index.css, right? Just import the there's something called reset file. I don't know why they have named it that way, but whatever it is, what it is. So we'll call it reset.css, right? I think it is reset.css. Yeah, it is, right? So once you import this, the next very important thing is to actually have a config provider for your app. Now, what is config provider? It's basically a configuration like thing which you can like where you can configure all the primary, secondary, and background colors of your entire Andy applications, and it's quite cool, right? So if you want features such as dark mode, anything like that, it will be really helpful. So what we can do is we can just go over here and we can say config provider, right? Config provider, something like that, and then wrap our app inside this config provider, right? In CRA, like create React app, just you'll be having this in the index.tsx, right? So this is the app, and then what you can do is you can provide a property to this known as theme, and now theme will have something called I believe token, right? Token will have a lot of options like background color, foreground color, a hell lot of options, right? You can use context or a state simply to toggle between dark and light and whatever mode you want, pink, maybe pink mode someday, right? I hate the color pink, but still let's move ahead. Okay, so the color so right now what we want to change is color primary. I think there should be something called color primary. Yeah, so this is the primary color of all the controls, everything which you see on the website. So let's go and pick some good color. So we'll say color picker, right? And quickly pick some good color. This is the color which I don't like. I like something like very dark purple, something like that, right? So I picked that up, I pasted this here, and now whatever you do will have this particular color as the primary color. I hope so this is visible, right? Yeah, this is visible, I believe. Okay, so I think that was kind of like the thing. That was kind of like the thing. Now basically we'll start be using it. So for just just showing you what has happened till now, what I'll do is I'll just make a test button, right? I'll keep the type as primary, right? So if I keep the type as primary, and if I just go and show you this, see, this does have our primary color which we set in the config, right? That's what the config is for, right? If that makes sense. So yeah, whatever, let's reset the width and height, whatever. Okay. So if you go to the Andy documentation, right? So if you do components, right, there are a lot of like okay, I know it is released, what do you want from me? Okay, just get lost. Okay, so a lot of new components has been introduced, like if I could show you, like there is some action buttons and all. We'll go through them, but before that I'll just give a general overview of Andy, what Andy is, if you're not familiar with. If you already familiar with that, kind of cool, just look, this is version 5. Few things here and there have changed, which I'll discuss. So we'll get rid of this button. Now there's something very interesting called layout in this. Now we'll just use that layout thing, and what I'll do, I'll also create a styles folder which will hold all my styles, and this is dashboard.css, right? And we'll import our CSS file as well. So /styles/dashboard.css, right? So we have this up in there. So basically, what is layout? Layout, if you don't already know, I know a lot of you have already seen my my Andy video. No offense, just see it twice. Revision, recall, things will be good then, right? So I'll be just showing you the layout. Wait, if I could find it. I'm pretty sure. Okay. It will be on the top, man. See, that's the layout, right? Oh, that's the layout. So basically, layout is like what kind of general structure do you want for your app. So you could have like this structure, or like a sidebar and a bottom bar. A lot of examples has been given over here, but I would recommend you just watch what I'm telling you right now, because that will give you a very good sense, right? So let's start with this, right? What are things called in a layout? So in a layout, the top thing, where you have the navigation bar and stuff, that is called a header. The middle section, the main area where you have the content, is called the content section. The footer section, the slider section. Just remember these, right? But there is a very weird thing. I'll just show you, right? So if I just create let's say, if I create a header, right? For example, if I create a header, right, and I call it test, right? And if I create a slider, right, and call it test again. You'll see, if I just go here, right, if I refresh stuff, you can see this is the cider stuff and this is the header stuff. I might need to give some layout or container, something like that, right? So I might have to give this. Oh, that would not work. Oh, that would work. Wait, I've directly imported it, right? So if I just write container, and if I just say height is like 100 vh is what we want, right? If this is okay with this, you can see width also, like width also we want 100 vertical width, right? So if you do this, things go weird, right? You see this, right? But there's a trick, right? I'll just show you, right? So how you do this is, if you want a cider, right, you need to place it inside. Oh wait, is it due to like we do not have a content yet? Let's add a content. I mean, right, this is our content, right? So this is the content section. Now you can see this is not right, all right. So the top bar is here, the sidebar is here, there's a content section. Things are messed up, right? But the solution is to basically place the cider and content inside another layout. And design team, if you're watching this, just tell me, why do I need another layout inside the main layout? Now things are good, right? So you can see this is the content section, this cider, and this is the top bar, right? So things are good now. Things are happy now. Okay, inside the header you can definitely set a theme, or I think color or something. Yeah, let's actually make the background white, because I hate the headers dark background. Let's call it header. Let's call it background color. Maybe I will put it white or something. Copy this header from here, paste it as a class over here, and that's it. Yeah. So no change, man. No change. That's kind of insane. Okay. What should we do? Headers. Is the theme color white? What does that serve a purpose? No. How do you create a light themed header, man? That's kind of sick. You basically have a cider which has a cider. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Then we have a layout again. Then we have a header which has, oh, you basically have to pass it in styles for some reason. Oh, that's not good, but still. This doesn't work for in the, okay, let's pass it as a style, right? Then let's make it a background color, okay, and let's pass it white. It works in the style, but it doesn't work for the CSS class. I mean, what on earth is happening over here? Okay, whatever. So we have this color white, whatever. Let's get rid of this, right? Inside which you can place basically anything which you wish. For now, I'll just create a class. We'll call it a brand, okay? And we'll say text font size something like what, 3 rem. It will be very big, 3 rem. Let's see. So if we just go over here and write brand and just write cool dashboard, right? Cool dashboard. That's kind of big. Let's give it 2.3 rem, right? And let's give some padding as well. So let's give some padding like 10 or something. That's cool. So we have the cool dashboard thing ready. Zoom it in a little bit, right? So cool dashboard thing ready. So we just want this cider as well to have a nice menu and stuff, right? So how to have the cider, how to have your slider look good and have a nice menu? I think this does have a theme, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, this have a light theme, see? Okay, so now what we want is, we want a menu inside, and here is where the change comes, right? If you remember the previous time when I did the video, it was like menu.item and stuff. So now you do not have to go to any of those clutter. It's very simple now. So what you can do is, I'll do this like this. You actually have to pass something called items to this, right? And you pass an array, and basically now you can define your entire menu inside this data. And how does it go is, basically you have to remember 3 or 4 things, I think. One is the label which you want to give. Let's say I want to give home. Then you have to supply a key, I think, which should be unique. So if you do that, that will basically create your first menu item, right? And you can go on creating this. But before that, I would like to install one more library called React Icons. Like, this is a very cool library for icons, tons and thousands and thousands and thousands of icons. By the way, you can go to this website called React Icons, right? And you can explore all the different icons available. So let's say, what do we have for home? We have all these icons for home. So which one is the best? Which one is the good? Which one is the better one looking one? Okay. I don't know. FI home, this kind of looks good. HI outline home, that looks cool. Okay. So let's actually go to VS Code and quickly import this icon, and I'll show you how to place an icon inside the menu. So you will import basically this from React Icons slash, remember this HI starts from HI, just place it HI, so it will be inside that. If you copy that thing from there and place it as an icon over here, right, which is like this, you basically have an icon now of your, you can see this there's a home icon, right? There's much more to it, by the way. Let's create some more things about us, right? Key will be maybe about underscore us, and icon will be maybe about this. Is there any icon for about us? Is there any icon for organization and stuff? That's kind of looking sick. GR organization. Yeah. Import pasted from React Icons. What happened? I did okay. React Icon slash GR, right? So once you have this, you can place this over here, but that's not it. I'm just telling you, right? You can even you can see, I think, why do I have to refresh this? I don't know, maybe. Okay, so this is the about us, this is the contact us. Now the fun part is actually you can create sub category inside all these children's. So I'll just show you, right? So let's say inside home you want like first home, second home, and third home, something like that. I don't know why do I have so bad examples, but you can pass basically a children into this, right? So children will be basically again an array with the same options. So it could be, what could we have inside this? Add profile, like that, right? And maybe the key is add profile, right? We could have other stuff as well. We could have all you label, right? So all users, something like that, and then we can have another all users as key. So if you do that, now this is expandable, but you can see this is coming like in the side, but you want it like below, getting it, right? But how do you do that? So basically there's something called mode, I think. So you can basically pass a mode. There are three mode: horizontal, inline, and vertical. Horizontal is when you have horizontal menus. So for the top bar or something like that, you can just pick horizontal. Inline is basically just pick it up and just show you what is inline. Inline is this, what we want basically. So right, this inline, and vertical is basically vertical, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So that looks sick, right? So you can basically add profiles as well. Let's without icon they're not looking good. Let's add a person icon. How does it look, man? Okay, that's kind of sick. Which one? Choosing an icon is very hard. Oh, okay. So let's actually place it in both of them. I want the same icon for both of them because importing icons is hard and I don't want to do it. Simple stuff, right? So, oh wait, oh man, okay. Oh, okay. So we have the same icon for both of these, and I think I don't know if I have to actually refresh for all the. Okay, so you can see, we have a sub icon inside this, and you can do this. So this has changed, by the way. So this is how you basically give this, right? Menu stuff. There's few more changes which we'll be discussing about, which is one is in the drop down. So I'll just do few stuff with the content. I'll give a very huge padding, maybe 24 pixel or something like that. By the way, before doing any of those stuff, I would like to show you one thing. You can make this collapsible as well. right? So you can make it like collapse into these icons and then expand into maybe this full version of this. So how will you do that? So for that, what I would do is I would simply go to the brand, in the header section, maybe anywhere you. So, and let's actually have an hamburger icon. So okay, let's actually have an hamburger, something like that, right? uh, Something like that maybe, right? Let's import that stuff. So import something like that from gi, react icons gi, right? So basically what I meant is basically so now you have this, but in the header what I want is I want to place that icon right over here, but that would not be sick. I'm telling you, there would be an issue if I place that. I think this like this, because whatever. Okay, so I want the hamburger icon to be there. Where's my hamburger icon, man? Where's okay, this is my hamburger icon. Okay. So I'll just place the hamburger icon over there. Let's save it like that. What's the Okay, there's a hamburger icon and it basically goes below. So what we have to do is we have to take this and maybe have a div and maybe give a style and maybe display flex, right? So basically you have this, oh man, item, align items, center. Yeah, so basically you have the margin right, maybe 20. Okay, so yeah, if you want like if you click this, you want this to be collapsed. If you unclick, I want this to be bigger. I can set a size to this 34. That's too big. 28. Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? So let's say if you want like this, whenever this is clicked, you want this to be collapsed, this open. How will you do that? It's kind of simple, right? So what you do is you basically create a state over here. So let's call it collapsed, right? And set collapsed, right? So you can just create a state, and by default, let's say we don't want this to be collapsed, right? You basically go to the header, right? So this header section, right? And you basically pass something called collapsed. I think there is something called collapsed. Wait, it's there, not here. I mean, where is it? Oh, it's not here. I mean, it's in the cider. Sorry. So there's something called collapsed, right? So you can basically pass the collapsed over here, right? And that's pretty much it, right? And on the click of this hamburger icon, basically what you can do is you can toggle that collapse. You can say set collapsed. I don't know. You can say set collapsed, not collapsed. So whatever it is, just reverse that, right? If you do that now, you can do this. This is kind of sick, right? You can have a full menu, you can have a half menu, and when this is collapsed, you'll have something like this. When this is full, you'll have something like this. This kind of dope, right? By the way, what if we kept the same theme, right? So what if like the theme was dark? Let's try that out. What if the ciders theme was dark, right? So what if we make this dark again? Oh, that does not look good. Okay, that's kind of sick, right? So you have this done. Will be maybe if we'll see if I if we'll see, we can even create a dark mode version of this. We'll think about that, whether we want to do it or not. Okay, so this is how you create menus, right? So the next stuff is basically how do you create other stuff in the content area. This is how you do it, right? So basically I'll go to the content area over here. This is our content area, right? So yeah, we also have a class called content. We'll apply that, right? And some of the things which has changed is drop down, right? So drop down right, but wait, give me a second, right? So let's go and actually explore some of the components which Andy has to offer, and let's see what do we got there. So we have buttons, which we have already discussed a lot. So if you don't know about buttons, you can watch that first video, right? Icons, we have already discussed. These are the icons available, Andy. I don't care about these icons because we have the monster icons library, which is React icons. We have this thing, some of the things which I think really are essential in order to in order to work with something like Andy is like cards, layouts. There's something called I'll just show you, right? This is a content area. I'll just show you the design. Okay, so there's something called a card, right? You can have a card like this, right? And you can then there's something called typography, right? So typography dot, you could have title paragraphs over here. So I could see like, okay, so sales maybe, right? So I can say something like this. Now you have a card with sales as a title, right? You can even like have a paragraph over here, right? So you can say typography dot paragraph, right? And maybe you can have a lorem ipsum full, right? So this is actually now one of the UI. So you have sales as a paragraph, this is as a description, and that's the use of the card icon, right? There's something else called it's called space, I think. That's kind of a very cool thing. So let's say if you want to create small cards which basically holds the data values, right? How do you do that? So basically what you do is you basically say space, right? And then you give a direction. So let's say I want a direction in the horizontal side, right? So now this will basically lay things inside it in a horizontal way with some space between them, right? So basically I want cards between them, and I want let's say some icons, growth, money, right? So let's say how much sales did I do this week. I want to show that, so I can definitely do that. If anybody knows the solution of getting an autocomplete for these icons, it would be amazing. Just tell me, right? I don't get it, and it's very annoying, right? So I think let's say this is the again, man. Okay, so you have this, right? So then you can basically have this, and again maybe we can have another space between them. Direction maybe horizontal again, and we can have this. We can have like maybe again we can have like a typography dot title over here, and we can even have a small over here with like total sales maybe, right? And we can have like maybe this much sales we did, right? So something like that. But you want this thing to appear below, right? This. So how will you do that? So basically bring that out from this whatever thing it is, right? So yeah, right. And then you can place yeah, that's kind of how it looks, right? And you could have multiple of these things, right? You could have multiple of these lying like beside each other, right? And you'll have it like this. So that's kind of like your data matrix thing, right? And maybe I might change stuff there. See, I know this is not a UI which looks very sick. What I want is I want to lay the concepts, right? So of Andy and how do you actually go for doing stuff, right? The next thing which is very essential to learn is about the grid. Like how does the grid thing works, right? So there's something called call, and there's something called call and row, column and row in this thing, right? So where should I demonstrate this? If I just do grid documentation, right? Is how you do it, right? So basically the total width, like in bootstrap, if you remember, it's 12, right? But in Andy it is 24, right? So you basically can specify spans. So like this six span, like the span six columns, span six columns, span six column, and you have things like that, right? So if I just show you, for example, right? So below this, all these spaces, we'll have a divider. By the way, divider is actually a line segment. So if you see this line there, a very faint, a very some line, that line is due to that divider thing which I just did, right? So let's say if I want to show you a grid, right? And then, oh, there's nothing called a grid, but okay, whatever. So I can have a row, right? A row, and then I could have like calls with various spans. So I can say the span is like, let's say 6 for now, right? So and I say it's whatever, there's a card and there's like some data out of that, right? So I want to place something big there. So typography dot title something, right? So let's say this is the card, right? So now this is taking 6 out of the total 24 division which it did with the available spaces, right? So if I just go and create another call, right? Another call with all the rest division, how much would it would be? 24 minus 6 is 18. Let's call it 18, right? So you can see this actually took all the other divisions, right? And then you can, I think there's something called gap which you can specify, spacing. No? Okay. It's not happy with the spacing and stuff, which I want to specify. Is there should be something for spacing, right? There should be, I mean, come on. Oh, you basically saw gutter and that's 16. Oh, okay. What's gutter? Gutter is like the spacing. I think so. Gutter is spacing. Let's try it out. Gutter is, let's say I want 10 gutter. Oh, gutter is actually the spacing. See, different vocabularies, different words does the same thing, right? So you could have a lot of these like sort of thing. Like you could have like a various grid structure and whatnot with this row and call stuff. You could create a lot of stuff using this. This is how grids work in Andy. If I go further, you know, what are all other space. So we have already discussed buttons. I think typography, icon I don't want to discuss because I don't think so that's useful. Dividers we have already discussed. Grid we have already. Layout, spaces. What is anchors, man? What is anchors? I think, oh, this is anchors. I haven't used anchor ever in my life of Andy, but let's try it out. Let's give it a shot, right? So basically you basically say anchors and then you specify links, full of links, and they are basically anchors. Oh, is that so? Let's use one of our cards for that demonstration, right? So if I just say anchor, right, and if I just say links, right, with href as hash test, right, link 1, something like that. See, we have an anchor. That's kind of cool. Okay, I think we can create a lot of these. So like 2, 3, 4. Oh, but they're side by side, man. Why they're side by side? I mean, in the example, there's like, okay, what's the catch? You basically supply a title, not like this, something like this. Okay, you supply a title and you call it like link 1 several times, and then so you basically say 2, you basically say 3, you say 4, you say 5, and that's how you do it. Save it. Oh, there's nothing appearing in the screen, man. Why? What's my mistake now? Okay, is the link same? That's the issue. Oh, let's copy this example only. Like, let's see what do we got. Oh, this link is not what we are expecting. Actually, this is something else. This link is actually I think React routers link. Okay, so this link is not. Oh, this is not. This coming from Anchor. Where's this link coming from? Oh, we don't want this link from here. We want the link from the Anchor. So const link, right? Anchor. I'm sorry, Anchor, right? So and if we just say link, right? Save it. And kind of cool, right? So I think this should appear as expected. Yeah, see, we have our anchor there. That's the anchor, right? You basically can specify a hierarchy of links and you'll go wherever that anchor takes you. Life is free. Whatever. Okay, so what's next? The breadcrumb. The bread. I'll not demonstrate breadcrumb right now because this kind of depends on the React router, this stuff. It doesn't, but you know, you can do something like this with breadcrumb. Like you can show things side by side, and this makes it quite self-explanatory. There's nothing complex in this. Let's find something complex and let's try to understand that, right? What's this? Hover. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, I just remembered something complex, right? Which is tables. I think tables in Andy is like the best tables available out there. Like that's kind of very sick. That has like insane features. So that's what we'll be demonstrating the next thing, right? So we'll have another row now. We'll have maybe another row in our dashboard, right? We'll give this call spacing of maybe 18 to this, call spacing of span of 18 to this, right? And next thing what we'll do is we'll just start by having a table, right? Now, how does the table work in this particular thing? If there's no data, it will appear like no data. I want some space from the top. Gutter is like, again, maybe 10. And style margin top. Right, so in this table, oh, this is not visible. Oh, this is not visible. Oh, what should we do? Let's remove the top row. I don't need this now. Okay, I hope so. This table is visible now, right? So how do you specify tables? It's basically two things it requires. It requires the data and it requires the column description, right? So let's supply the data first, right? So let's actually use faker for the data. I mean, I don't want to npmi faker. Is that how you do it? Faker.js. Where's the installation, man? How do you? Okay, this is how you get started. Let's copy that shit, paste it over here. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, so we are doing this. We have installed faker, and it's over here, right? So the next thing what we'll do is we will be basically having a lot of data generated from this faker. So let's write a small function. Const data is equal to what is equal to a function, right? And let's call it dat, something like that, right? And let's generate some data for let I is equal to 0, I less than something like what? How many data should we generate? 34 looks a good number. I plus plus, right? Const dat dot push. Oh, come on, dot push. What do we want to show? We want to show an ID, which will be faker. Okay, we'll have to import faker now. Right. So we have a faker dot what do we want? This is actually an ID, right? So this is random or data type dot. We have data type dot numbers. No, oh, not database, man. Data types, and then number, maybe like something like 1,000. Just generate a random number between 1 and 1,000. That's what I'm saying over here. Name is like a faker dot name dot full name, right? What else could we have? We can have email, right? So we can say faker dot internet dot email ID. Email, right? What else could we have? We could have a description, or we could have like a status, right? So which is like active or not active. We can say like mat.random, like if it's more than 0.5, like there's a 50% chance of being it active or not active. We'll show something very, very interesting by this, right? So we'll say this is true or this is false, right? Sorry, we'll say this is true if this is true, and then false if this is false, right? So this kind of like generates our data, right? So we'll return this dat now. Kind of cool. Okay, and we'll call this function as well. So okay, whatever this, let's call this function, okay, whatever. Let's call it generate data, right? And the real data will be over here. So we'll say const data is equal to generate data, right? So you have the data, right? So you can pass the data to your table, which is over here, right? And then you actually have to give a column description. So column descriptions, how do you do it is basically you specify the data source, data index of each of these things, like which you want to show in that particular shell. For my case, like let's say this, and then you basically specify, I think, a title, which is the heading which you want. I want ID as a heading, and then you can also specify a key for this, I think, so that yeah. And then you actually have to specify this for everything which you do. There's something special, I'll just show you. Data index, I want this for the name, and I want this for like something like name, and I want the key to be also name, something like that, maybe. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, so yeah. Data index, what else do we have? Email ID we have, I think so. So let's call it email title email ID, and the key is also email. See, this is, I'm just teaching you, right? So like, not I'm teaching you, like we both are basically kind of making sense of this whole thing. So, oh, data is available over there, right? And this by default, I just would like to show you that this, I would give it a height. Can I style specific height? I want to give you maybe 500, maybe 400, maybe 300. No, I cannot. That's rude. Can I give a height to this column? Maybe 300, 100. It just doesn't listen to me, so I'm sorry. It just not in a mood of listening to me, but still I will show you what do I mean. It does provide a page nation to you, like by which you can see the further data, like data which is above or like you know before this, so you can see all the data which is available. So this is the column, and you can do quite sick thing with this, right? So let's say you have a scenario where you have like this status thing, right? And you want to show a card or something else that is not a text, that is not a general text, right? So you can definitely do that. I'll just show you how you would do that. So you'll say something like the data index is still like that same. What was the data index? Data index was status, right? And then the title is basically the same, status, right? And then you can say something like render, and you can render absolutely anything. The first parameter, leave it. So you can have a value of this as well. So you have a val, right? The value is basically the value of the status, right? So status, this is the same what you will be specifying over there. This is the status, right? And you can basically say that if the val is true, right? So you can just pass maybe a tag or something with like active. Otherwise you can say otherwise, and again a tag, and you'll say not active, right? Something like that. You can see this is how it's generated. You can even, like, if you don't like, it's not compulsory to even have a data index, right? You just need a title and a, like, that's pretty much it. So that you can we can have something called actions as well, where in the children we can render like maybe some button groups. Now if you don't know what button groups are, here it what it is. So it's like a group of buttons. That's exactly what it sounds like, right? Buttons. And you can say add or edit or something like that, right? It's angry at me. What happened? Oh, this is not children, this is render. Sorry, it's render, not children. See, so oh, it's not happy with me for some reason. Okay, you can see edit, and you could have like 30 different buttons. You can have like edit or delete, right? With a lot of stuff, right? You can even you can set a like the type is primary, and it is a danger button, right? You can do this, and it's completely okay, right? So you can do this. By the way, you can even make some columns fixed. So if you don't want them to be scrolled or something like that, you can even do that. So how will you do that? That's kind of very simple. Just if you want to make the ID fixed or name fixed, just say fixed true. And now if they are scrollable, right, it's like it's fixed. It's always fixed. The ID would never scroll. If you'll see the little bit of documentation, you can even make this responsive. I think there was something called responsive, MD, something like that. Whatever, let's leave it for now. We'll not focus on the responsive stuff right now, but here's how you basically can create tables in AndDesign. Do we have anything left? So drop downs, kind of simple stuff. We have already discussed this. Steps. Your steps keep me awake and put me down. Do you remember the song? Cool song. Okay. So this steps. What is steps? Steps is basically what you take in your life to become successful, but this is a different one. So this is also very simple. Would like to show you this as well. Right. Let's put it above this. Maybe put a card over here directly. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, let's put a card over here directly, right? And you can say steps, right? You don't need the closing one. And if you focus right away, it's pretty simple, right? You basically give a current index and you give the items with a title and a description. That's all what you need basically. So you basically you give like the current index maybe 1, and you give like I think items, yeah, and then you basically say a title. It's like, okay, that's not like that, maybe title. Oh wait, what's the matter, man? What? Okay. Okay, you basically need this to be in the curly bracket, because that's what a value is in React.js. So basically specify a title, maybe it will be like sign up, description, please sign up or else I'll whoop your ass. Your ass. Kind of very gentle reminder to your user base that they need to sign up, right? Very gentle one, not very rude one, whatever, we'll collapse this up, right? So this is how it is. You can specify a lot of them, right? So you can say sign up, and then maybe give some money, maybe sign up. After sign up, what they do? Pay subscription, buy subscription. Buy subscription. You can definitely go and come on. Description, you can specify like, okay, buy some subscription. Okay, whatever. You can see this 2 steps. You can add multiple of these. You can specify one more title. This will be something else, right? Description, do something with this. Right. Okay, this is how you basically can create steps, which is kind of cool. You have your full UI kind of very, like, you have the full thing ready. You have your dashboard ready basically in hours instead of days by Andy, because you have all the components which you basically need. You must be thinking about charts, but Andy charts is a complete whole different topic. We'll be covering it in a very separate video. What's next? Let's see. Do we have anything interesting? The autocomplete is kind of not very interesting. Then you have the transfer thing. What is this? It's loading. It's just loading. It's not in a mode of actually. What happened, man? You just okay. This is okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the next very important thing, which is forms, because you have forms everywhere inside a website, right? How do you put forms in your website? So it's pretty simple. It's the dopest way you can put forms. It's quite good. So you just have to specify a form thing, right? And then you basically specify a form.item stuff, right? And then you specify an input to this, right? So you basically specify an input. You say, okay, this is the input. Your form basically start. You have the single input over there, but you don't have a title to this. You need a label, right? So you basically specify a label over here. You say name, right? You specify a name over here, and you can see this is appearing in a horizontal way, right? So the name is appearing on the side, the values on that side. You can just definitely change that. You can go to your form, right? You can say like mode or layout, I think, right? You can set what kind of layout you want. If you want like vertical, go for it. There you have a vertical layout. The name on the top, the input control in the bottom. Kind of sick, right? So this is a name, and you could have like 30 different stuff, like that. And maybe you can have email. You can even set types to this email. You can have like maybe date of birth, or like what else do you have? A password, right? And you can have type as password, right? And kind of great, you have this, right? But how will you we can have like form.item, maybe submit button. So button, you can have like submit or sign up, right? Sign up. You can set a type to this button. You can say, this is a primary button, secondary button, ghost button, whatever you want. It's totally up to you. So you have this sign up button, and you can basically set a type to this HTML type, which is HTML type, and you can say this is like a submit button, right? which basically makes this form submit, right? But now the question is, how will you get the value of this form when it is submitted, right? But basically you use something called formic, or you used controlled form elements. Maybe you could store it on state, but there's no hassle in Andy. Things are quite chill. I'll just show you how you can do that. Just specify a name to every item which you have. Maybe name, email, specify a name, simple stuff, right? Password, and you don't need any name for the submit button, right? You just there's something called on finish, basically a function which will give you all the values over here. So I'll just log the values and show you. I don't have any value for these values, so I'm not using this, but you can definitely have it. Okay, so I'll just show you, right? So maybe I'll just make it a little bit bigger, whatever, right? So if I just go to the console, right, and there's some code, each key should have a unique key props. That's true. Let's solve this issue first. I don't care, we'll be thinking about that later on. Okay, so if I just say if I just say test user, right, if you say test@gmail.com, if I say test hash at the rate something like that, right, and if I just submit, you can see, you immediately have all the values as an object available in that on finish. What you're saying, you cannot see it now, can you? I believe you can. So that's pretty much it, right? That's how you do it. Andy is cool, dope. There's one thing which you have to remember, Andy is actually developed kind of like like everything, this has a Chinese influence. Just remember this thing. That's pretty much it, which I don't like about it. Other than that, I think it is one of the best component libraries available out there. Quite cool, quite awesome. This has a ton of other components. So this time picker is cool. Should we do something about it? I think. Oh, day.js is cool. This supports day.js. That's kind of cool. Okay. If you just let's make up one more form element, maybe form element, right? Form.item, right? Let's place this over here, right? And let's import time. And now this is not happy with me because we don't have the day.js, which we need to install, which we will install because day.js is cool, right? So import day.js from, why do I write form instead of from always, right? Kind of cool, right? So now we should have I don't know, we should have something. That's not happy with me, man. What do you want? Oh, you have kind of a day picker, so you can pick a day and a time and a lot of stuff from there, right? You can even have a title for this as well, so which I will supply in my case. So this is my day picker, time picker. I can just say day time label pick some time, right? So basically you have the time picker, right? So you can do a ton of shit from this, or you can just say now. It's kind of cool, right? So this is the time picker. You have a ton of different components, I'm pretty sure. Transfer, I have never used this, no use case for me. Tree select, kind of similar, man. Batches, avatar is cool. I would definitely like to show you some avatar. Some cool avatar. Let's find some cool avatars. These are garbage, man. East or west, Popeye is the best. Popeye. Yeah. This dude's avatar would be the best, and I would go for this one because this looks sick, right? I'll just copy the address, right? Okay. For example, let's say if I want to show this over here in an avatar, let's save this, and then you can pass an src to this, right? So something like this, and now you have an avatar present in your application. Sick, right? You can even set a size of this particular, I think there is something called size, and you have large, basically. So you have a large avatar present over there, right? A ton of component available, a a ton of components, really cool components, right? You have this empty thing. This is also very cool, right? So let's say if you have a list and you don't have anything to show, right? You can definitely show this empty thing, right? So this is also cool. I don't know, my whole component is filled up so much that I'm just confused where to keep things. This is my menu. Here's my card. Okay, this is like another card. Okay, the content section is my first card. Okay, this is the form. Okay, so I know I would like to show you this empty as well. So if I just place this empty over here, right, you can see this empty thing. So see this how it looks. It's cool, you know. If you don't have any data, this is very cool, right? You just show like there's no data, just get lost. We don't care about you. I'm sorry. Yeah. Then you have card. We have already discussed calendar. I think this is too much. It's very good. It's very good by any chance, but I haven't used this, so I'll not go in this like to detail. Corsil, I have used this. Corsil, how do you pronounce this? I don't know. Maybe some way. This is also cool. If you want, I can show you this as well. Uh, I don't know what has changed in version 5, but this was cool. It's very simple. Just place the Corsil as a parent element and then just have your divs. And remember one stuff, that you should have all your divs of the same like width and height, because uh, whatever, that's kind of cool. So yeah, let's not go on that. Description. What is description, man? Oh, this is this. So uh hmm oh, it's kind of cool. Okay, so you can see description over here. You can show this something like this in a form of borders, which is sick. Man, this description looks sick, right? Do you agree? Do you agree we should try this? We should. Descriptions look sick. Okay, so we'll try descriptions now. So descriptions, right? How do you do that? So description, you provide a title. You provide a title, and title is users data. Yeah, right. And then basically you provide something like description dot item, and then you have a label over there, and you have a value in the, as a children you pass the value. So let's say name. So let's place my name over here, Jay. What do you see? It's this. That's kind of cool. I like the bordered one more than what we have before. So this is like this thing. I can just copy paste this few times. Maybe instead of name, we could have like my roll number at my class. If I remember my roll number, this is my actual roll number. It was 18, right? And then I can have an address. What is my address? Maybe some lorem. Maybe 12 words. Maybe it doesn't work. Wait, what's wrong? Lorem 20. Lorem 12, right? Whatever. So I have this address. Oh, this is kind of junky. Why is it in 3 rows? I don't know. I don't know why is that. We have name again, J. Oh, we have this over here. Okay, I think this is this is hard. So we could, like, what if like we have description dot item and place it like over here. Is it how this is handled? No, that's not the way, man. You don't pass it as a children. How do you specify rows and columns in a description? That's the question, right? Which I'm asking. So I don't want this everything to be in a single row. Let's go and see. Right. So how do you do stuff? So you basically have this. You stay this is okay. This is bordered, and you said this. Okay. You basically specify and span. Okay. So usage time. Hmm. Hmm. You specify span. So if I just specify a span of 2 for this, what will happen? That's the question. Oh, I'll have this below. That's kind of cool. So you basically saying two things I want to appear from here. All right, that's what it is. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so that's how descriptions work, right? So that's also sick. I think descriptions are also sick. Empty, we have already discussed. Image, I'm not sure how image is helpful. This is how images are basically. Span SRC, like always, right? And yeah. Oh, lists, I think these are very useful things. So yeah. Oh, if I just uh, this is how lists are. So so there's two ways you could have your list. So one is you already have the data, one is you don't have the data. Let's see both ways, right? So first is the you just go and you say, okay, this is my list, and you say this is my list dot item, and they say, okay, hello, maybe few more items. You just test one, right? So you have these items in your list, and it's visible as this, like this list, right? There could be another way where you actually have an data, a full data of your list, right? So how do you do that? So I think this is like list, and it's what's described over here, right? So if you say you basically have a header or a footer, you can pass a header or footer. That's not compulsory. You can have a bordered list, and you can say specify data source and then render item. So for this, what I would do is I'll have it bordered. I'll have a data source, which is I think the data which we have above, and then render item. So you basically get a function with a single item, right? And then you can return anything which you wish. I will return a div with maybe that item dot name email name, right? Let's see what do we have. Yeah, you can see a lot of these names, right? But you'll have it all in a div. That's not cool. So I don't want this in div. I want this in list item, list dot item, right? So it's kind of gives you the iterator. Yeah, these look so good, man. Showing a list of people, a list of things. This is very sick for that purpose, right? uh yeah, I could give a description over here. That will be kind of cool, right? So I could descriptions, right? So I could have these bordered too, right? And I could have a title, user details, uh, right? And I could have like a descriptions dot item, and I don't know about span anything. We'll think about that later on, right? So we can have title, we can have a title. Let's not have it bordered. I think that's not a cool idea. And let's have a label. Let's call it like a name, right? Let's have a value as item dot name, right? We could do kind of similar things 2 3 4 more times. You could have a name, you could have an email, you could have like active dot status maybe, right? um, if it's true, right? So it's like active, otherwise not active, right? So yes, you can see the full user details kind of as listed below. Beautiful UI we already have. So that's how you basically can render data as well as like other stuff. That's how this works, right? I would like to limit the data. I would like to slice it to like 0 to like maybe only 3 data. That's all what I want, right? So 3 data is available here. Do we have any other component left? We have a popover. That's also cool. Oh, I just forgot. The modals. They are quite cool. Modals are cool, right? I'll just show you various types of modals you can build, and they are sick. So first, the simplest version of modals, right? So which you basically use to confirm stuff, right? So if you delete your profile or confirm that your profile, that's one stuff, right? So what you can do is you can just say, okay, modal dot confirm. Oh, okay, text, right? You can have like delete. What else do you got? Body, style, or text, or title. Are you sure? Are you sure you wanna delete your profile, and you could like you could have a simple button over here, right? So you can say button, right? So you can say something like a delete profile, right? And you can specify a type to this, maybe primary, maybe danger, right? Whatever, right? And you can basically specify on cancel and on okay stuff, right? So you can say log, right? Why are you angry at me? You can see something like this. Oh, cancel, okay. Oh, a lot of them has been there. There's some bug in this for sure. Yeah, what's the issue? Property children does not exist on type intrinsic. Okay, the children does not exist on type this. Okay. What if I just remove the children? Is it fine with that? No. Oh, this is not happy with me. Oh, how do you do that, man? How do you do that, man? How do you confirm pop up? Modal. Okay. You have modal. You have pop confirm. That's exactly what I don't want. I want it as a modal, man. Do you get it? Yeah. Ah, I don't like it. Okay. Oh, you have. Hmm. Can I have like the confirm thing? Oh, confirmation model dialog with confirm. Oh, that's exactly what I want. How do you do that? And what is the mistake which I'm doing? That's what I want to know. Okay, you say confirm. Oh, there's this function called confirm. That's simple stuff. Ah, and where this confirm comes from? It comes from modal. Okay, that's I got it. This is not a function, right? So you basically do not need to do this. You basically need to have a button, right? Like delete, like danger, like primary, right? And you basically on this click of this, right, you need to call something from that, like which is modal dot confirm, right? And then you can say, okay, you can specify various things to this. So you can say, the title would be like whatever. Let's copy this stuff from here. We don't want this thing, right? Whatever. So if you just say this, does it work? Let's see. Let's refresh this stuff. Okay, so if you just see there, see that works. That's how confirmation dialog works, right? So you can just have the confirmation, and that's how simple it is. Imagine, right? But what if like you have a complete different requirement and suddenly your senior manager comes up with a complete form which you have to show it on your modal? How do you do that? Then you go a little complex. You basically create a state, right? So you create a state like const uh, modal open, set modal open, right? So you just say use state, and initially you want the modal to be not open, that's why you set it to false, and then just go anywhere in the body, anywhere, absolutely anywhere where you wish, and just specify a modal, right? And just specify a body over here. So let's say I want a title like add a new user, for example, right? So something like that, right? And you just have a form inside this for some reason. I don't know why you want to have a form inside this. You have some input, right? So you want to have labels. You just say name, maybe some other stuff. You just copy paste this 3-4 times, name, email ID, and you have nothing like this is an item, but you don't specify a name over here. But say button, right? You don't even need buttons, right? That's kind of cool. You didn't need buttons, right? Whatever. So let's say you want to control this is open or not, right? So if I just say open, you say modal open on cancel, which is on close. You say set modal open to false, right? And you just have to toggle that state with any button of your choice. So let's say we have another add user button. Instead of delete, we have another add user button. So let's call it a button add user on click, basically set that state to something, set modal open to maybe not modal open or true, like, so you want the modal to be open. That's how you actually kind of makes the modal, right? That's sick. You get all these buttons, and if you're thinking like, how the heck am I going to modify these buttons and stuff, that's also very simple, right? So I mean, how the heck am I going to give actions to this button? It's like this on, so not on this, I mean on this. So basically you say on okay, on cancel. You have all those kinds of event handlers over there. It's kind of sick. Okay, what next? Let's kind of like, let's play around the theming a little bit. So can we make it a dark theme or anything like that, right? So let's see. Can we do something like that or not, right? So this is how it looks right now, right? So if you do something from here, right, you could do a lot of stuff, right? So you can just say bg base, maybe something like hash 555 hash 555, right? So that's kind of dark color. You can see this is a base background color, right, which is for some reason doesn't look good. Bg color, what all colors do we have? Bg color, bg border color, bg mask, bg layout. Okay, if you just say this, then what's oh, you have this. So background of this could be set through this. Okay, that's kind of cool. I want a little bit more dark, right? I think color, what else color we can set? Mask, spotlight, container, base. Okay, we want this to be like absolutely zero. That's not sick. Okay, so whatever. You can have a text color, I believe. Color text be white. Yeah, you see we have a black version of our app. You just have to toggle this with the, we have set it through the if you remember this place, right? So if you just modify this to something like black, this doesn't work, of course, I just remembered. Okay, you just go over here and you modify this to something like black. Wait, cider collapsed dark. Do we have a dark version of this? No. Oh, whatever. Okay. So basically, what if you just go to your header, which is this, and you just say black, right, and just say the color I want is the white, right? So you basically have a dark version of your entire dashboard within seconds, within this. So it's kind of sick, right? So a lot of components I wasn't able to explain this video. I think that would be a very, very long video, which I don't want, right? So maybe we'll do something like skeletal result. These all things are quite sick. Notifications, I would like to cover notifications. This is quite sick, right? So if you, let's say, you want user to be notified, it's very simple, by the way, right? So if I just place one more button over here just to show you, right, button, right? So if I just show you okay, show notification, how do you do that is you basically say on click, right? Whenever this is clicked, you want simply a notification, right, dot whatever, success, error, whatever you have. So let's say I want to show a success message, something like that, right? So you just success, you specify a message, and you say whatever, user registered successfully or user created successfully. So, right, so if you do that, and if I just click on this button, you will see this nice notification coming up there, right? So I hope so this was a cool introduction of Andy version 5. By the way, I didn't discuss the core components of version 5. That's kind of sick, right? So if you want to see what has changed, so I would definitely like to show you that. Sources, I would like to go over here, right? So Andy getting started, not that. Where is like the Andy version 5 stuff? So you have these float buttons, right? These are the things which have been introduced new. So if I just search for float buttons, right, these are the things which have been newly introduced in basically in Andy. So you could have these floating buttons. I can place that also if you need. Float button, I don't know how does that work. Okay, does it take an icon maybe, right? So then you can say add add gr add, right? So if you say this, I think we'll have this. You can see, this thing. This, oh, you cannot see that, right? You can see this, right? You'll have this floating button over there. So whatever you scroll, it's kind of there. By the way, if you're thinking like, why, okay, Jay, but what is this, man? This is not sick. So you just have to make this overflow scroll of the content. Just make it like overflow auto, overflow kind of overflow auto. So this will be like now this, right? Instead of that, this, right? So okay, I hope so this, you learned a lot of things from this video. If you want me to cover something else, or if you think, I did something trash in this video, you can just let me know your suggestions in the comments below. And if you have any doubt, feel free to contact me anywhere if I wish. And if you are someone which I have not replied in the previous, oh man, I'm sick of myself. Whatever. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Have a great winter if you're in India. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day.